this video, we're talking about the commutative property, which is one of the properties of algebra. And basically, the commutative property tells us that a plus b, for example, is exactly the same thing as b plus a. So this is going to be equal to b plus a. That there's no difference here. You can remember this property as the commutative property because think about somebody who lives at home. They live in their house at home and they get in their car and they commute to their job. This is where they work. This is their office building, and every day they have their commute. They commute from home to work and then they commute back again. Whether they start from home and drive to work or start from work and drive to home, the distance between the two is the same. That doesn't change. So just because you flip the order doesn't mean you change the distance that you're actually driving. And this is kind of the same thing, right? We have a plus b. Even if we flip the order to b plus a, the sum is still going to be the same thing. So if we apply this to real numbers and we say 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, we know that 3 plus 2 is also equal to 5. It doesn't matter which order we add these numbers together in, the result is still the same. Just because you've commuted these values to a different location, just because you've swapped the location and put the 2 where the 3 is and the 3 where the 2 is, the sum is still the same. This is going to work for addition, and it's also going to work for multiplication. So when we have x times y, which we can also write as xy or as x y, these are all different ways to write multiplication. X times y is going to be equal to y times x. It doesn't matter which order we multiply them together in, the product is still going to be the same. And if we apply this to real numbers, we see that that's true. We know 4 times 6 is equal to 24. If we commute the values and we switch the order, we put the 6 where the 4 is and the 4 where the 6 is, and we say 6 times 4, we're still going to get 24. The result is still the same. The important thing to remember about the commutative property is that while it works for addition and it works for multiplication, it does not necessarily work for subtraction or for division. So for example, with subtraction, if we say 6 minus 4 is equal to positive 2, if we flip the order and we say 4 minus 6, that's going to be equal to negative 2. Those are not the same thing. So it doesn't necessarily work for subtraction. If we do division and we say 6 divided by 3, we get positive 2. If we flip the order and we say 3 divided by 6, we get 1/2, not 2. So these aren't equal, and we can say that the commutative property doesn't necessarily work for subtraction and division. So just remember, the commutative property for addition and for multiplication tells you that the order of addition and the order of multiplication doesn't matter. You're still going to get the same result.